It brings me great joy and great to have just spiritually conclude our spring grand service together with all of you. Looking back on June 30th of last year, we successfully held our 90th anniversary with the honored presence of Reverend Daisuke Nakayama, the official representative of the Shinbashira, and Mrs. Harue Nakayama, the wife of Shinbashira. For this, I'm truly grateful. On the day prior, we also successfully celebrated the joint convention commemorating the 70th anniversary of the Women's Association and the Young Men's Association of America, with both the presidents in attendance. This was due to the support of everyone involved, and I thank you once more. Today, to open this new year, I would like to share some thoughts so that we can all move forward together in high spirit during this season of the final year of our pre-anniversary activities leading up to Oyasama's 140th anniversary. I ask for your kind attention. First of all, I would like to extend my heartfelt prayers for the many people affected by the wildfires that have occurred in the Los Angeles area since January 7. My deepest condolences go out to those who have lost their homes and to those who are mourning the loss of their loved ones. Starting today and continuing until March monthly service, we will start disaster relief fund to support those affected by the wildfire. I kindly ask for your cooperation. The 140th anniversary of Oyasama will be observed at church headquarters on January 26, 2026, next year. The anniversaries of Oyasama are observed to commemorate the date, January 26, 1887, when Oyasama withdrew from physical life, shortening her natural term of life by 25 years, to urge the spiritual growth all human beings, her children. However, we do not merely commemorate Oyasama. We must also show her a more spiritually matured version of ourselves on the day of the anniversary, so that she may find joy in witnessing our progress. Further, reflecting on the divine direction conveyed immediately after Oyasama withdrew from physical life, quote, "From now, I will step out to save the world," unquote. I believe that now is a time for us pledge to align our minds with the intention of Oyasama, to put her teachings into practice and take decisive action. In other words, each time that we celebrate an anniversary of Oyasama every 10 years, it is critical for us to show her our spiritual growth and thus bring her joy. Now, as we enter the final year leading up to the 140th anniversary, to further advance our spiritual growth, I would like to revisit and reflect on the intention of the Shinbashira expressed in Instruction 4, along with his words. Instruction 4 explain about why we observe an anniversary of Oyasama. Quote, the significance of observing an anniversary of Oyasama, therefore, is the response to her parental love by making decisive progress in spiritual growth, which with each and every yoboku raising his or her awareness of being Oyasama's instrument. Unquote. Oyasama's parental love refers to the profound love of Oyasama, who demonstrates the divine model for us and withdrew from physical life on January 26, 1887, thus shortening her natural term of life by 25 years to encourage our spiritual growth. Also, it signifies that Oyasama is ever living and that she continues to stand at the forefront of world salvation to guide and work for us. First of all, we must embrace this truth in our heart, never forgetting it, as we dedicate ourselves during the 3 years, 1,000 days of our pre-anniversary activities. However, this alone is not enough. As followers of Tenrikyo, we must reaffirm to ourselves that our mission is to serve as the hands and the feet of God the Parent and Oyasama, and to strive for the realization of the joyous life for all. This involves practicing the teachings daily and dedicating ourselves towards salvation. Of course, practicing the teachings is important at all times. However, during our pre-anniversary activities leading up to the Oyasama's anniversary, we must embrace the 3 years, 1,000 days as a distinct period, engaging ourselves with even greater energy and effort than usual. In instruction 4, it states, quote, the period of 3 years, 1,000 days that leads up to an anniversary of Oyasama is a time for us to actively move forward on the path of single-hearted salvation by implementing the teachings with our sights set on the divine model. Unquote. Further, in his message for our 90th anniversary last year, the Shinbashira said, quote, because of our jobs and other various commitments that keep us busy in our day-to-day lives, Oyasama divine model may be put on the back burner, if not totally forgotten. This 3 years, 1,000 days season leading up to the anniversary is, however, different from such ordinary times. During this special period, we focus on increasing the time spent pondering over Oyasama's parental love embodied in her divine model, and make repeated efforts to implement the teachings so that we can bring our mind into accord with the divine intention. Such is a way of following the path of the 3 years, 1,000 days season leading up to the anniversary of Oyasama. There may be times when we encounter unexpected hardship and difficulties in life. Yet, if we follow the path in high spirit, relying on the true parent and returning our thoughts to the divine model, Oyasama will surely feel reassured as you look upon us. Your positive attitude and the way you follow the path in high spirits will surely help you to be blessed with newcomers to the path of faith. Unquote. During this period of our pre-anniversary activities, more than ever, let us all practice the teaching on a daily basis, using Oya-sama's divine model as our goal. In other words, let us consider all things and guide all our actions by using Oya-sama's divine model as our standards and ask ourselves, what would Oya-sama do? We must not simply pass this period of 3 years, 1,000 days in a vague manner. Rather, let us always keep Oya-sama the divine model as our reliable guide upon which we can ponder things, make judgments, and put the teaching into practice. If we speedily move forward each day, this will bring peace of mind to Oya-sama. Further, I believe that this will lead to the teaching spreading far and wide. In regards to walking this path with Oya-sama the divine model as our guide, in instruction 4 says, quote, "When we drink water, it tastes water. She taught us to always feel a sense of gratitude for the boundless blessing of God present in any situation as we walk the path. On another occasion, she noticed, but sprout for nuts. She encouraged those around her by saying that whatever happened is God's arrangement for guiding people to spiritual maturity. Further, we are taught, through saving others, you will be saved." Oya-sama taught that if we remain single focused on working for the salvation of others, our minds will gradually become purified without even realizing it, and we are also be saved and be filled with joy and brightness. Unquote. The Shinbashira highlighted these three teachings to instruct us on what kind of mindset we need as we walk on this path. Of course, Oya-sama taught us more than just these teachings. However, if we can first settle these three in our minds and put them into practice, I believe that we will be able to carry out our pre-anniversary activities with Oya-sama's divine model as our guide. For our 90th anniversary last year, the Shinbashira stated, quote, "The anniversary of Oya-sama have nothing in common with memorial services held in remembrance of the deceased. We see Oya-sama's anniversary as crucial milestones on our journey toward the joyous life role, so desired by God the Parent. With each milestone, we strive to grow spiritually and show Oya-sama a new level of spiritual growth, so that we may bring peace of mind to her. Such is our resolution with which we observe Oya-sama's anniversaries." Unquote. In other words, this means that on the day of the anniversary, we must present to Oya-sama how much we have grown spiritually. As I mentioned earlier, we must engage in our pre-anniversary activities so that we can show her our spiritual growth on the occasion of every anniversary. By demonstrating to Oya-sama our more spiritually mature self, we will be able to bring her joy and a peace of mind. At last year's autumn grand service, the Shinbashira said, quote, "In order for us followers of the path to take firm step forward in unity of mind, we will need to nurture more and more yoboku in such a way that we will turn their thoughts to the anniversary, and thereby engage in the activities toward the anniversary. Without such effort, we will not be able to bring peace of mind to Oya-sama." Unquote. In other words, I believe that The Shinbashira is encouraging us to receive the blessing of Yoboku, who will stand Oyasama's anniversary through our missionary and salvation work. Moreover, he is saying that we need to focus on and call upon those who may be stalled on their journey of faith, such as those who have only listened to one or more basic lectures, and to nurture them to become Yoboku. Also, in order to realize the joyous life role, we must strive to receive the blessing of even one more person becoming Yoboku. Let us make the effort to return to Jiba together with them for the anniversary date to bring joy to Oyasama. Further, Shinbashira stated, quote, "It is particularly important to implement actions during the 3 years, 1,000-day period. I would like to ask you all to earnestly engage in your activities during the remaining 1/3 of the pre-anniversary period even more spiritedly, so that whether you can return to Jiba for the anniversary or not, you will be able to have a sense of delight on that day." Unquote. First of all, the Shinbashira is using us to dedicate ourselves in our pre-anniversary activities and to take action. Nothing begins without action. During these 3 years, 1,000 days, he is asking us to take action to realize the role of the joyous life. Of course, on the day of the Oyasama's 140th anniversary, we are hoping for many people to return to Jiba. However, even if it is not possible for everyone to return to Jiba on that day, the Shinbashira is asking us to conduct our pre-anniversary activities in such a way that we feel joy in our heart, and for us to strive to grow spiritually. Further, Shinbashira said the following at the last year's autumn grand service, quote, "For the current pre-anniversary activities, we decided to have directly supervised churches and their affiliated churches set their own goal to work towards as part of their effort to make progress in spiritual growth." Unquote. In his sermon for last year's autumn grand service here, In my sermon for the last year's autumn grand service here, I talked about how I wanted each of you to carry out the pre-anniversary activities guideline and the specific goals of your respective upper churches that are directly under church headquarters. Throughout this year, please keep in mind and implement the pre-anniversary activity guidelines and the specific goals set by your upper churches or your own church. Furthermore, the day after last year's autumn grand service at the church headquarters, the Director-in-Chief of Administrative Affairs, the Omototorio, and the head of the church headquarters Salvation Committee delivered the same message. They spoke about how during this year, the 3rd year of our pre-anniversary activities, we should strive to fulfill the spiritual resolution set by each directly supervised church and the church headquarters and each church. They also emphasize the importance of encouraging others to return to Jiba. Although these words came from Omototorio and the head of the Salvation Committee, I believe that they convey the intention of the parent. So I hope that you will dedicate yourselves accordingly. Since our mission headquarters is also a directly supervised church and the church headquarters, I have also set the pre-anniversary activities guidelines and the specific goals for Dendocho and the churches directly under Dendocho. One of these specific goals is to, quote, promote returning to Jiba during the period of 3 years, 1,000 days at the time of the Oyasama, during the period of 3 years, 1,000 days, at the time of Oyasama's 140th anniversary, and through the year of 2026, unquote. I have communicated this to all the churches directly under Dendocho, mission headquarters in America, and I request them to put this into action. Although I am fully aware of the financial difficulties in returning to Jiba for many of us, I hope that in this third year of our pre-anniversary activities, all those in our Diocese of America and Canada will still aim to invite others to return to Jiba. Of course, on January 26th of next year, the day of the Oyasama's 140th anniversary, I sincerely hope that many people, including Yoboku, will return to Jiba. I hope that through these efforts, we can bring joy and peace of mind to Oyasama. To achieve this, throughout this year, the third year of our pre-anniversary activities, I humbly ask that each of you do your best in your respective position to move forward spiritedly. Let us make this year in which we walk on the path of spiritual growth through carrying out our pre-anniversary activities. With that in mind, I now conclude my talks for today. I thank you for your kind attention.